Yo, what's up?
Man?
How you doing, brother?
I'm good. Hold on. Trying to get set up over here. Give me a second.
Oh man, I'm bumming it, so you're gonna have to bear with me.
It's cool. You said you bumming it?
Yeah,
That's what you mean?
yeah.
Oh, Lord. Man, I had
I
to
feel it.
shave this morning just so I can be on here with you, man.
I'm loving it. I'm enjoying being able to grow it all out.
I hear you. It's almost like we're in winter time again, right? Where we have to
Right,
start.
right.
Oh,
Be like a bear going to hibernation.
absolutely. Good to see you again, bro. The last time I saw
Good
you,
to see you
it's
too,
been a
man.
while.
It's always a pleasure seeing you, brother. It's always a
Right.
pleasure.
Right. I feel like every time we link up, it's like time has never crossed
Pat.
paths. It's like,
Right.
hey, it's like family again. How's mom?
Exactly.
How's
Yeah.
pops? How's the family?
Mom, pops, they're great. They're wonderful. Check in with them always from time to time. Obviously, mom, sense of love, says hi.
Cool.
Yeah, man, they're doing their thing, staying healthy, making sure they stay inside, enjoying each other's time.
Absolutely, man. Where are you inside? Are you on the West Coast, East Coast, out the
Oh,
country?
yeah, I'm definitely inside. Yeah. I'm back over on the West Coast, back over on, where I kind of grew up. So I got
Yeah.
all of my friends, my family over here on this side of town too. So it's good. Everybody stays in contact. That's
Yeah.
one of the benefits of this whole crazy thing that I've realized, though. Everybody's been much more in contact, so that's been nice.
Absolutely. So I'm gonna take my phone down so I can get comfortable. There we go.
What you been doing, though? How you been staying busy?
Brother, man, during COVID and prior to COVID, you know what? I just had a class today, and I was just telling my students in class about my highs and lows, right? And
Oh,
my
wow.
high,
Yeah, okay.
yeah, my high is actually my peace, right? The sanity, because of everything that's going around us right now. I can take this moment to get closer with God, being able to focus on my sanity, figure out what I need personally, because we all
Right.
need a balance in our life. So I'm good, man. I relocated, got a new crib, being able to get acclimated with family and friends.
Yeah,
Life
man,
is
because
great.
like I remember last year, like this is you making your transition to LA now, and is that a LA hat I see you got over there too? Is that
No,
a
that's
LA hat
actually
on
my
you got?
initials. That's my initials.
Oh.
It's on my wall. Bruh, that's actually what I did during COVID. I painted.
Oh, really?
I did.
Oh,
Hold on, let me
okay.
flip it around
Look
so
at
that you
you.
can
I'm about to
actually
put in a
see.
garden. I'm about to put a garden in, so that's funny. Oh, yes.
You
That's
see that?
beautiful. Okay. I
Yeah.
see
It's
you,
like a little
DIY.
space.
All right.
Yeah.
HGTV. Go ahead, brother. I ain't mad at you.
Yeah, man. But
Go ahead.
so my low is obviously I want to be hands-on.
Hmm.
I'm very big on helping people, get to the next phase in their career, right? So with
Right.
the industry shutting down, with the world on pause, I'm
Hmm.
learning that, I have to take my hands off of certain situations that I have no control over and
Right.
understand
Yeah.
that our steps are ordered, right? If folks
And that
see
goes into
that,
that like patience and that waiting, which is always hard. That's sometimes the hardest thing. Yeah.
so how
Yeah.
do you overcome that? Like the patience and the waiting,
I mean, it's interesting that you said that because you're talking about highs and lows. So my like core group of friends, like my guys, we have our own Bible study and we're going through the book of Ephesians right now. But
Yeah.
we always start off with the highs and lows. You know,
Mm.
yeah, we
Look at
do. So I
that.
thought it was very funny that you right, because it's everybody has to. You got to be able to have that. But I would say you know. I guess dealing with that, it really is a matter of having that core, the group, the people in your lives, to help you in that time of waiting.
Yeah.
You look at like, I mean, you look at the disciples. I mean, they were sent out by twos. I mean, you look at any unit, like military unit, they work in a with the
Yep.
there's always a team behind it. So you know, it's having that. That's kind of what helps during these times of waiting, especially, you know, the whole world. It seems like the whole world just stopped, you know. It kind of
Hmm.
reminds me of like a Pinky and the Brain sort of Animaniacs, you know, moment where they pull out and you see the earth just stop. It just
Yep,
seems like
yep,
this whole
yep.
thing just put everybody on pause.
But
And
I want to add to that though, because one of my students was like, what would it be like when we go back, right, to the normal,
oh yeah.
right? However, I challenged them and said, yo, this is our normal, right? We all make choices. It's still the
Mm,
same amount of hours, still the amount of same seconds and minutes. It's our
right.
walk that determines how much time we have. You know what I mean? So I hope folks, and I want to ask you, I hope folks like see what they can do differently, like creating multiple
Mm,
streams of income, or
right. Right.
going after their passions, or going
You know,
after their gifts.
that's the interesting thing that you say that, like going after your passions. I mean,
Is this
that,
affirmations we doing right now, my brother?
no, man. I mean, it's just funny, like going after passions. Like, I feel like people are. I don't know. I mean, I would only assume that this provides the opportunity for
Yeah.
individuals to do their self-reflecting, do their, you know, due diligence of like really looking at themselves, taking a pulse
Mhm.
of themselves, if you say. In doing that, discovering new things about themselves. You know, also realizing some really good things. Now, you know, these changes aren't always going to feel good. They aren't always going to be, you know, the best feelings. I mean, you imagine having to be stuck home with like siblings that you get on your last nerves, you know, all day.
Right.
So I'm sure everybody's going through it, but no, I think it does provide a opportunity for everyone, for all of us to be more creative, to
Yeah.
realize different things that we haven't done before. I'm starting, like I said, I'm doing a garden that my sister's gonna be helping me out with. I
That's
never
what's
had
up.
the time to think about that. You know what I mean?
What kind of
But
what kind of flowers you putting down there? What are you doing in the garden?
oh no! I'm not worried about the flowers. I'm trying to put in food. You know, I'm preparing. You know,
My
we're
man.
gonna put the food in.
My man. My man. My man. You gotta make sure a brother
No.
eat. That's what he's
Yeah, you
saying.
know, you gotta be able to eat. Come on now. I mean, tomatoes, you know, spinach.
That's what's up.
What you need? Come on, man. Don't worry. You just come on down back there. I'm gonna take care of you. I got the food for you. Turn
Word.
into my grandmother. That's what's gonna happen.
I love it. I love it. I love
Yeah,
it. All right, I want to
yeah.
take this moment right now to pause for a second. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. This is Louis Nassel here with LS Studios. We do industry talkbacks with, actors, casting directors, producers, you name it in the industry. And we just have a quick chat, asking some few questions. So if you may have a question, make sure you put it in the comment. I'll scroll through to
Yeah,
ask Jordan, okay? Jordan,
yeah, yeah,
so
yeah.
this is your first time being with me on IG Live, utilizing this time.
And it's like my
Um,
first time being on IG Live, brother. I mean, I'm so terrible with
on
social
mine,
media.
on mine, on mine.
Right, right, right. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. On mine. So what I do is I typically start off with asking you a few questions, and then we quit. We quickly chat about the industry, and then if we have time, we'll scroll through the comments to see if there's any
Mhm.
questions that most people have. But again, this is industry talkback, so we could talk about the industry, we could talk about life, but like art imitates life, so this is going to be a conversation about
Yeah.
life. But I want to do a powwow, just warm up question with you real quick.
What you got?
It'll be like this or that, right? So
Okay.
I'll
Okay.
typically say like, uh, how that do a little callback.
I got
So
you.
the powwow Q&A where I'll be like this or that. So I'll say yellow or blue, and you just pick or choose.
Bring
So
it
pick
on. Let's go. Let's
pick
do
one,
it.
yellow or blue.
Oh, blue. I mean, I guess I already got it on, so blue. I gotta go with it.
Cool. Carrots or peas.
Carrots.
Okay. Cardio or strength training.
Straight change.
Okay. Swords or guns.
Wait, say that again.
Swords or guns.
Swords?
Swords, yeah. Like a sword.
Okay. Swords. Swords or guns? Yeah, I'm probably have to say maybe a gun. And I ain't gonna bring a sword to a gunfight.
Cool. Falls or punches.
Punches.
Punches. Okay. TV or film?
Ooh. Now you can
Yeah.
difficult. Now you hard. Okay, all right. Ooh. I'll probably say TV. Good
TV.
TV.
Okay. Acting or anime?
Yo, you need to chill out, bro. Hey, bro, you need to relax, man. You gotta calm down with that. That's not
Yo,
right.
pick it.
I mean, you see that I got my
Acting
hunter shirt
or
on right now.
anime?
Hey, man. I'll get back to you on that
Nah,
one.
man.
I'll get back to you on that one.
All right,
Okay,
so
I'll
I'll
probably
answer.
say acting.
There we
Acting
go.
is actually acting.
There we go. Because it's your anchor.
God's my anchor.
You better preach.
You good? You go and shout now. Get a shout, boy.
You better get me together, my brother. What we sipping on over there, man?
I'm just sipping on some tea. Yeah, just sipping on some tea.
Okay.
Tea and honey.
All right, so let's jump into it, Jordan. So, obviously, this is industry talk back. So let's just a quick chat. How did you get? I don't think I actually had to sit down talk with you, but like,
We
what
didn't,
made
no?
you get into the industry?
For
Like,
real. You've been over at my mom's place and
I know, but I don't think
Thanksgiving
I
dinners and
asked
everything.
you. I don't think I asked you that. Like, what
Wow.
made you get into acting?
No, that's cool. Sorry about that. No, so I started acting when I was 5, so almost about 25 years being in the industry. But I originally started from my dad. He's a director photographer, and so what his job is, he's in charge of all the camera work, all of the lighting department. That's his job, and he was doing a show at the time. I believe he worked on, he was doing Robert Townsend's show, Nick Farino. He did
Yeah,
5 Heartbeats. He had done
yeah.
Meteor Man. He had done like grew up working on Roots Next Generation. And but he was doing at that time he was doing a show for Robert Townsend and Gregory Hines show as well. But my brother and I, we both were discovered at one of the live tapings. Parents, they said, "You guys want to do this?" We like, "Sure, we'll try it out. Why not?"
Mm-hmm.
So got us on set, had us start off doing extra work. Started off with us doing, stand-in, seeing how it is, getting the respect for the crew, a lot of the crew, and seeing how they show up, work early and late.
Right, right.
And then from there, my brother and I, we landed our first national commercial, which was Pepsi. And we ended up doing that.
How old were
At
you
that
then?
time, what happened?
How old were you then?
I was 5. I was 5 at that time. Let me see something. Kind of got a little low. I was 5 at that time, and my brother was 10. And that was our first big project. It was a national commercial. The Pepsi one, I'm not sure if you remember how it was, but like the ball bouncing and that little girl that would always, take a sip of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was a great run. And at that time, I wanted to be a Navy SEAL. So, much respect to all of our military and military all around. But I wanted to be a Navy SEAL. And, like, I saw that paycheck for a national commercial. I'm like, I get paid this much and I got to get shot at? Okay. Yeah, I can get behind that. Yeah. So that one kind of like hit real quick. And so I just continued on acting, man. And then from there, ended up doing more commercials. Love commercial work, man. That thing will pay bills.
Yeah.
But grew up doing that, playing baseball, going to school. Parents made sure that my brother and I stayed grounded. Really grateful for that. And just been in the industry for since.
Okay, so you got pulled in, obviously you got blessed because you had family that was already involved in the industry, right?
Definitely blessed, yeah.
So do you remember like your first acting class? What was that like? And
Right. So my first acting class really was with Chip Fields, who's like Kim Fields' mom. She's my mama. That's been, my other mama bear in the industry as well. And I did classes with other acting coaches as well. But Chip, she was my first, and she's the one that kind of also helped me get an
And she's an
understanding
OG in
for
the game.
theater. What?
She's an OG in the game. She knows her
Oh,
stuff.
she's a super OG, right? And that's my mama.
Yeah.
If I ever spoke wrong, she smacked me and beat me up.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
And I
Yeah.
love her for it.
Yeah.
But no, yeah. So she kind of was the one that really helped me with understanding theater as well, because when I was at the age of 10 and 11, back in 2000, 2001, I ended up doing Lion King over at the Pantages for when it first came out to Hollywood, Julie Taymor's. And yeah, I just remember her being a big help in that, and just being one of those protective mothers in the industry, but also was making sure I was just grounded. So it goes
Yeah.
back to just saying, the people that my parents also put me in contact with, made sure that I had the right counsel. So it
Yeah.
was a blessing. It was a huge blessing.
So, for those that don't know, the late former Dustin Felder, who was my business partner, who passed away
Right.
unfortunately in October, his mentor was Chip Fields.
He was also one of my acting coaches as well, and a
Hmm.
really close friend too. So he was
Hmm.
close to the family as well, right? And that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying, like, because the beginning of last year for your career, I mean, after his passing, he handed off that mantle to you, it brought
Bruh.
you out here, which is amazing. So
It's really interesting. Like, it tells me that God order our steps, because I met Dustin way back when in 2011 in
mm,
Baltimore, and then a year later on After Earth, um, with Will and Jaden in 2012, and then when I opened up my business in 2014, I brought it to LA
right,
from New York. It was the same building as Dustin. So I'm like, I see you, God. Right now we have this legacy that we're still,
right.
cultivating gifts and artists, that the work is still implemented and it's done.
And
So I
that's the
think,
thing though. Back to the question you asked me earlier, like when it goes to waiting and like having to how do you operate within that way? I mean, the word in the scripture, I mean, it says, he is a lamp unto our feet. He's not a huge
yeah,
headlight. He's not a huge, he's not going to be a huge floodlight that's going to show you the whole distance down the way. No, it's a lamp,
right.
and the lamps back in those days, it just gave off enough light for what was that step ahead of you. And if you just continue on that, I mean, you see, seek first. I think it was Pastor Devin. He was speaking on his IG today about like
Hmm.
seeking first the kingdom of heaven, and the rest will be added unto you. But
Added,
but yeah, I mean, like,
added.
yeah, it goes to that point,
Absolutely.
just
Even,
one
go ahead.
step at a time, and you see that consistency where God will take you one step at a time.
That, but also understanding if you're in alignment.
Right.
Because when you're in alignment, you don't have to hustle and bustle for things.
Mm-hmm.
Instead, you'll just let it draw near to you.
Right.
Right? And that's why God be able to have the people drawn on onto us, those that are walking with him. So
Right.
how
Right.
do you keep your faith, through the industry ups and downs? And to those that are joining us, I'll say majority, half that are watching right now, are in some way, shape, or form are involved in the industry, right? So they're
Mm-hmm.
looking at you and see your career path, and they go, "Yo, you made it." Being a
Right.
series regular, being in some feature films, like,
Right.
you made it.
Right.
So you've been on plenty of sets. You witness a lot of different energies and spirits. How do you maintain your connection and relationship with God?
Well, Galatians, I believe it's 1:5 says, "Walk in the Spirit, and you will avoid the lust of the flesh."
Say it
And
again.
I
Say it
think
again.
walk in the Spirit, and you will not seek after the lust of the flesh. And that for me is one of the big ones for me, especially given the career that I'm in. And
Yeah.
it's also one of those things where it's like, how do you do it? Well, it tells you right there, just walk. It's not a cookie cutter type of answer to it. I feel like it's because our relationship is relational. It's a relationship. There's a reason why when we get asked like, "Oh, you're religious," and as a Christian, you're like, "I'm not." okay, I understand where you're
What's
getting
that?
it from. It's like the church
What's the
history and how it all
response?
happened, and
Let me let me ask
it's. Go ahead.
let me ask you that question so you can do that response again. Oh, Jordan, you're religious?
Okay, I don't know. I don't know what that was, but I don't know who you were doing, but
Your response to that was like,
ah, no. I mean, I'm not saying it's like a bad thing. I mean, it's a very understandable thing, and I think that's Proverbs talks about that. But the thing is, you understand, given the church history, um, why people would consider Christianity to be a religion, when in fact,
yeah,
when you look at the life of Jesus and you look into like the Gospels, what they're talking about, it's a relationship. It's not to be religion is something that can be man made or man controlled. Whereas this relationship, it's individual. However, we are all called to, be the salt of the earth or, be a light on the city of the hill. However, with me and my faith, I feel like I just try to I just be who I am.
amen.
And, God's given me like a very, outgoing personality. So I love hearing people's stories. I mean, that's one of the reasons why I'm in this industry, because I enjoy storytelling. I
Yeah,
enjoy
yeah. So
characterization.
is that also a decision factor? Do you incorporate like your walk with God and understand what roles you'll take and not take? Is that a decision factor for yourself?
Oh, absolutely. And I think that's that's always been a case given since I was young, since I started. I mean, going to auditions, the prayer would always be, if this is for me, then open the door. If not, then slam it shut.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, there's a reason why Jesus is saying in the Beatitudes, do not worry. Look at the lilies of the field and the birds of the air. Do I not care more about, will I not provide more for you? I mean, so and it's easier said than done. Don't get me wrong. It's easier said than done. This isn't just something, because that's where, faith and action, rubber hits the road. That's what it is. That's what, you know, that's when you pull out the richness though of that relationship. That's
Mm.
where you see the fruits of it when you're actually putting it to work, and when you find yourself in hardships or trials or whatever it may be. I only say that though, but to the point that you were asking, like, how do I navigate through the industry
Mm-hmm.
with it? It's like I said, it's just I have my core group, my guys that help me stay accountable. I go to my men's study, but it's also become something where it's not just me trying to work for anything, because you're not working for your salvation. That's not how it works. Salvation is given freely. So what I'm doing is because I want to
Indeed.
actually know more of what I believe. I want to
Yeah.
actually see. I want to test it too. You look at Jericho. Sorry, I said Jericho, but uh, Isaac. When he was wrestling with God.
Mm-hmm.
That's what
Mm-hmm.
we're called to as well. To
Mm-hmm.
wrestle. It's not a bad thing. So how do I,
Mm-hmm.
stay, or how do I navigate? Well, I wrestle with myself. I wrestle against my own flesh. But if I'm doing it on my own, then I'm gonna lose. But that's also why I seek them, because you realize, like you said, I've made it. So that means okay, great, you've made it, Jordan. What are you gonna do with it?
What's next?
You're just gonna be, like, oh, you made it, or are you gonna do something with it? Are you gonna actually try and encourage people, or exhort people, or just share the love of God? That's all it
Yeah,
is.
man.
Oh yes, it was Jacob. Thank you. I just saw that. Who was that wrote that? Thank you. I knew it. Yes. Thank you. The drain. Renee. Thank you, Jacob. Yes, that's what it was. Um,
Okay.
Thank you for clarifying that.
So let me ask you this. Being involved in a TV show and well, prior to your major bookings, your path as an actor, getting started, what can you
Right.
say to any aspiring artists out there? Like, what are some tips that you can give them?
Hey, man, absolutely. Um, and I'm really happy though that you did this too, because like I
You're
said, I'm
welcome.
not really all best when it comes to social media. But being able to provide this opportunity, I really do appreciate this, by
You're
the way.
welcome.
Thank you so much for it.
You're welcome.
Um,
Let's see
the
them hearts,
advice,
guys. Let's see them hearts.
no, but advice that I would always say, I guess a lot of it kind of stems from my old public school, elementary, sixth grade teacher, Mr. Antonian. He would always instill in us, for a lot of us, the kids, that we were going to this public elementary school at, he would say, when the going gets tough, the tough get going. And that's an
Yeah.
actual quote. I forget by who. But he would always add this at the end, whether you want to or not. By him doing that, he's already pretty much branding us as being tough. And he's saying, get into that world and hit it hard. So that's something that's always stuck with me and always
Mm.
encouraged me. You could say maybe win behind myself. When the going gets tough, the tough get going, whether you want to or not. There's that. So I encourage people with that to not quit in the creative process, in stretching with different roles or characters. I encourage them to create. I mean, I went to school originally as a business major, and then ended up coming out a major in cinematic production and minored in screenwriting. And I'm writing as well because I love storytelling. So fall in
Yeah.
love with it would be my second piece of advice to people, is like, that are in the industry. Make sure you fall in love, that you're falling in love with this, because this is a very time consuming. You be very selfish with your time. Um, and, and, and I think you should be, because it's art. Uh, God took his time when he created us.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, the word is
Yeah.
so detailed and so
Yeah.
inlaid with beautiful pieces of art and literature. I mean, you look around and see other stuff as well that we read. I mean, Homer's Iliad or the Odyssey, I enjoy Greek mythology. Uh, I say that because, yeah, you want to make sure that you're falling in love with this craft. So it's not just going to be the acting. It'll also
Right.
be maybe the writing, or maybe the production design. It may be the special effect. There's so many other people like in my crew that are just brilliant. I mean, these people are brilliant because they love what they're doing.
So
So,
that made me, I'm glad you talked about the writing, because that made me want to spearhead in, like, what about the artists that not just focus on acting, so to speak? Do you believe that they should have multiple gifts? Like, try to tap into writing, try to tap into directing, producing,
oh yeah,
casting.
oh yeah, definitely. I think especially given if you have the opportunity to, see a different perspective in the industry that you're
Yeah.
working in.
Yeah.
The reason why is because that will then help with communication. And if you can, you don't have to be a jack of all trades, but
Right. Right.
if you have like that understanding, that'll, I feel like it would help in better storytelling if you're able to understand what somebody else is. It's just like walking in somebody else's shoes, if anything,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
you know?
I hear you. I always challenge my artists, my actors that come to the studio, and we talk about, like, who they are, their identity, right? What's their
Right.
type? And what's something that most people don't know about them, right? So I challenge you with the question, what's something that most people don't know about you? I'll start off with me. Most people don't know that my parents are deaf, right?
Mm,
That I'm fluent in American Sign Language. I grew up in a household where I always had to study behavior, right? Because
mm,
they can talk in their hands, but I look at their eyes and I see their heart of, like, are they being sarcastic when they're saying that? Are they being giddy, happy?
right.
Like, I have to pay attention to their behavior. So I don't, my family is my world, and I
Mm.
keep my family, sacred, and I don't share too much light on my family. But most people
I'm the
don't
same way.
know
Yeah.
without doing digging, right?
What'd you say?
That
What was
most
that last part?
without doing the digging, doing the
Mm.
research, going to go looking. But it's definitely given if they ask. But both of my parents are deaf. So for you, what is something that most people as your fans, as your supporters, as even in your close circle that most people don't know about you?
Well, I mean, anything in my close circle that they don't know about me, I'm probably not going to share it on.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
Oh,
hear
yeah,
you.
no offense. I love everybody. But I probably would say it's, writing, probably would be the one thing that I don't really voice a lot of. But, it's
Say that
something
one more
that I
time. Is the what?
my writing, screenwriting. I enjoy screenwriting, and uh, I've started stepping into that a little bit more, given current situation now.
Yeah.
And I've begun letting people read more of that. So, I mean, that's something that eventually I would love to share with not just my fans, but everybody else, because the thing about storytelling is that there's power in it. There really is. It's a sense of responsibility too, because you're able to form and create these characters and dictate and just kind of guide and see where they go. And you're using these characters as a life lesson or as some type of
Mm,
lesson to teach and to cause a catharsis within your audience.
mm.
Because when you do that, then now you're instilling and enabling your audience then to question it, to be challenged. And by doing that, it only can just progress for positive results. I mean, we see that with how, uh, things just change, how people, there's new, different things that are trends.
Yeah.
I mean, you see that all how heavy and how influential the music game is, or how influential, any entertainment is.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there's a sense of responsibility, and that's one of the things that I guess, um,
Could
you
we?
know, people don't really know about me is, and what I'm hoping to share a little bit more.
Yeah. Do you anticipate sharing that sooner than later? Are you possibly
Yeah, yeah,
working on
yeah. I mean,
something?
granted, given everything, and it's obviously just has to deal with, where we go from here, and how
Yeah.
things settle back into, the flow of life. And, but I mean, yeah, it's definitely one of the things that is going to be something in the near future that I would love to share and that
That's
I
what's
look
up.
forward to sharing too.
Cool. 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 Now, with you being on a TV series, right? You're recurring. What is like the biggest, like, I guess, life lesson that you've taken away by being a series regular on a show?
The biggest
Such
life
as,
lesson that I take away about being
yeah, by being, on Black Lightning.
um one of the biggest things that I've realized is, I guess, it's the responsibility and the love and, just how much you come to care in the family that you build, not just with the cast, but really with my entire crew,
Mm,
and the opportunities that I have. I look at it as it's a great opportunity. I have so much fun, and of course, I love doing what I'm doing. But
mm-hmm,
the real
mm-hmm.
work that I get to do is when I get to hear about some of the different crew members, like Alan and Greens. Like, he's one of my boys that I love, and hearing his story and what he goes through, and his drive and what he wants to do. I mean,
That's
from
what's
our
up.
camera crew, from our production crew. It's just really, you meet beautiful, grounded people that just love the industry as well and love creating as well. And we just show up. And it's like, I mean, I'm not sure if you saw this last season, but man, I had a ball. I
I
had a
know you
ball,
did,
man.
man. I
I
know
mean,
you
shoot,
did.
like the stunt crew, like
Yeah,
training, like and I grew up playing sports too,
yeah.
so like doing all of the training and doing all of the like fighting before we even started the season, like it was just perfect because part of the other reason why is idle hands, so it was keeping me good and busy, but and then just seeing the final product of it, how it all
Yeah,
turned
man.
out, and being able to like
You killed it.
just it's just well, I mean, shoot, it's a team effort,
It's a
man. I can't
collab.
take no credit for that, and I
Absolutely.
never will.
Absolutely. And when I say you killed it, I have to say you paid attention by working off others. and it made you look great.
Oh,
So
appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah.
for sure, because it's definitely a collab. You know, how do you get over, by being in the industry, we all had this, I guess, this wall,
Right.
trials and tribulations, right? For you, how do you get over that feeling of bump this industry? Because we all had it as an
Oh
artist,
no, we all have
and
that. Yeah.
we
Oh
all
no,
had it.
man. I can tell
So,
you. Yeah, man. There was Oh yeah. So
yo, you
like I
propped
said, I
up.
was. What'd you say? Oh yeah, man. Like, trust me,
Oh
I've been
snap!
fired. I've been let go.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
was let go by William Morris.
yeah,
Like, I got like, and I was young, man. This was like
yeah,
after Unfabulous,
yeah.
because part of it was me wanting to play baseball and have a high school career. And it's nothing against William Morris, nothing against him. It's an industry. People are making money.
Absolutely,
You
absolutely.
when you start playing with somebody else's money, they not gonna be going for all
Yep,
that,
yep,
you
yep,
know.
yep, yep.
But I hit that wall. That wall I hit actually when we go back to Lion King. So when I was doing Lion King, who I also worked with, you guys might know Chris Massey. He was the
Yeah,
other young Simba.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
and
yeah, yeah,
Chelsea Tavares, she's over on All
yeah,
American. I love her, and I did
yeah,
Unfabulous with her.
yeah,
But you
yeah,
talk about like that little roadmap where God like she's the people that are in your lives. Anyway, I digress. But
yeah.
I auditioned when I was 9, right?
Mhm,
When like auditioned like about a couple times, like double digits,
mhm,
and
mhm,
that's my parents that were taking me back and forth. I was doing
mhm.
voice lessons and everything. 9 years old, I'm
Mhm.
like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna be able to play young Simba.
Yeah,
Hell yeah, I'm here
yeah,
for it, right?
yeah,
Made it down to the bottom 3,
yeah,
got told no,
yeah,
and they were having problems with the kid that it doesn't matter. I just got told
yeah,
no, so that's all I heard, right?
yeah, 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 yeah,
And
yeah.
so for me, I'm I'm going in the car. My mom's driving back. I'm like, man, I hate acting. This is stupid and blah blah blah. I think at that point in time, I was like, I'm gonna be a dentist or
Yeah,
go to culinary school.
yeah.
I was all over the place. My mama just looked at me like, oh, okay, so you're gonna make an emotional decision right now.
Mm. Mhm.
You're not gonna quit.
On a
We're
temporary
not no quitters,
situation. Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
You don't get to do that. So and that also is that
It
also
rooted in
goes
you. I'm
it was rooted
assuming.
in me, and that also goes to the fact of like that who you have around you, who
Yeah,
are the people that you have in your corner,
yeah,
and they'll
yeah,
show themselves too.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah,
because I mean, you learn different things on each project. Like it's not just me being able to do acting and all of this. Nah, like when I was doing Lion King, when I finally did it back in 2000.
Mhm.
So that's when I was. They called back 6 months after the original two young
When
Simbas
you forgot
were out of
about
their
it and everything,
contract,
you went
and
on
they
with
bring in
life.
another 6. They bring in for another 6 months. They bring in two younger young Simbas and young Nalas to
Okay.
understudy one another, and that was the year of 2000 and 2001, and that was also the year of 9/11. So
Mhm.
everything was shut down, right?
Mhm.
After 9/11. And then, but except for the West Coast, that was over on the
Mhm.
East Coast, except for the West Coast. And then my brother, I have one of my eldest brother, I'm sorry, my eldest brother, he's in New York right now, him and his family, but
Mhm.
he was there during that time.
Mhm. Mhm.
And I remember my dad, we're in the wings of Pantages Theater. My dad, he pulls me to the side and says, all right, son, this is what your job's about. It's your job to take these people out of the world and bring them into yours. And for me, that's one of those things where the light
Mm.
switch flipped on, where it's like, oh shoot, I have like a superpower kind of.
Yo, that's
Oh shoot,
dope.
like because you're telling a 10-year old kid that like, yeah, I get to do that. I get
Yo,
to,
that's dope.
yeah, it's real dope. So that was, I don't know even how we got off to that, but
No,
but
no,
yeah,
no. That's amazing. It was going back to the question I had as far as like, how do you get over, that wall?
right,
And you
right,
you mentioned it as far as like the people that's placed in your life. and you adhering to that advice, and you
Right.
gain wisdom. And it's funny that you mentioned that you wanted to go to culinary school. I actually wanted to be a culinary. I wanted to be a chef, and
Mm-hmm.
then somehow I got pulled into the industry, and I loved it. And I'm grateful to be in this position because it's all about, what we do with our borrowed time now.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
so
Yeah.
for
And
go ahead,
that's no,
finish your
I
thought.
mean that's very true. What we do with our borrowed time, and we don't always get it right, but thank
We
God
don't.
for His mercy and His grace, though, because
Absolutely.
and one of my mentors, my Adrian, one of my close mentors, back in college, he's the one that reminded me. He's the one that said to me when I was going through some difficult stuff. He said he uses crooked sticks to make straight lines. Like, that's one of the things that also, if you want advice, like to other actors, like it's you're gonna mess up. You're not gonna be perfect, and that's
Yeah.
that's okay. We look at life as that, but I was also
Yeah.
applying it to just like in a room in an auditioning, and everything. Because it's my mentality of like, okay, God has me here and He's used me, and when I get my stuff together, when I'm right, boom, you guys see Christ. It's great. It's wonderful. And that's how it's supposed to be. And the same goes into the room when I'm auditioning, boom, boom, boom. But sometimes you mess up and you're like, and it can ruin everything. And
One thing that
you
I
can just,
Go
go
ahead,
ahead.
go ahead. Finish your thought.
No, I was just saying, like, and that can just take you on a more, it'll pull you away from God instead of drawing you towards Him, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. One thing that I love that you just said, because I implemented that in my life, is making sure that I have a mentor, but I also have a mentee, right?
Say that
Because
again.
that I have a mentor, but I'm also mentoring somebody else, that I have a mentee,
Mm,
right?
mm-hmm,
Because it's important to leave an imprint, because
mm-hmm,
I notice whose ear, I'm listening to, or I mean whose mouth I'm listening to, or where my ears are towards, and it feeds our soul, like it gets us going, right?
right,
Now
right.
for you, as far as an actor perspective, right? When you started out your career from age 5 to where you are now, did you ever see yourself in this position now?
No. I mean, no.
No.
I could say
It feels
like
good, right?
that I wanted to, it's you can have expectations for yourself, like, oh, I want to be on the show, I want to be, doing this. Like, one would even think like, dude, you're 13 to 15, 16, on a Nickelodeon show.
Yeah.
They could say, there you made it as well. Luckily, I had, I have siblings, older siblings that always remind me that I ain't, and that my stuff's just like the next person. So, and
But let me hold a
they,
couple dollars though.
right. Let me hold a couple days. Hey, my brother, my brother comes through. Let me hold a couple days. Nah, my brother's a comedian though. He's the comic out of all of us,
Yeah,
man.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But yeah, man, it's I'm sorry, what were we talking about
We're
again?
rambling now, but I was just asking the question as far as like, um, did you ever see yourself in this position?
In this
From
position, right. No, I mean that's the thing about it. It's like I said, like I set my goals, that I would love, and it's like goals, but also what I offer up to God,
Yeah.
because He is gonna be He's the one that's in control of my career, like
Do
so.
you write like vision boards, or do you write
I
visions
don't know
and
if I
do vision
necessarily
boards?
write vision boards or anything. I just put down like yearly or like in 5 years where I want to be,
Oh, dope,
obviously. So I
dope,
have
dope.
like,
So
yeah,
you
it's a
have goals,
vision
yeah,
board, but it's more
yeah,
like a financial or economical game plan that I
yeah.
set to follow as well. Um, so that's more so like that, I guess that planning out. But with where I am in my career, I think it is a lot more seeing the influence that, I have and the opportunity that offers. Um, I think it's, it reminds me so many great examples in the Bible. Solomon is one, King Solomon, where he's, the wisest or richest, and this man still messed up, you
Mm-hmm.
know, but it's because he fell out of love with the first love, which was
Mm.
Jesus, or not Jesus, sorry, which was God.
Mm.
And that is the same thing, the same warning that we see in the New Testament. And in order for me to continue to to reach new heights or whatever it may be, where he has me, I'm gonna be happy with wherever God has me because it's where God wants me. And if
I
I'm where
love it.
God wants me, then I ain't got to worry about nothing else.
And that's a good segue because I wanted to ask one thing that pulled me towards you and your family is you guys are y'all love God, number one, extreme believers, and I love it. And you guys are givers, right? And I
Right.
wanted to ask you, like, from again going back to seeing where you are, because I never thought I would be in this position, right? We have a
Mm-hmm.
platform where we can have, people's ear. You have fans, and I'm seeing them all here right now. Like, what can you do from here? Because I always tell my team, I do every quarterly team meetings where I assess where I am as if
Right.
like it's plateaued, but build from that, right? So
Okay.
for
Okay.
you, where can you see yourself, like, all right, cool, this is where I'm at right now. What could I do to use my platform but to reach people, or to do
Right.
this or do that? What's some of those things? What does it look like for you?
What does it? Oh, I mean, I feel like, you kind of have to, like I said, like do that sort of self inventory first. You got to know
Mm-hmm.
yourself first before you can like know where you want to go, uh, because that'll also help you plan out how you're going to get there to where you want to get to. You'll learn your strengths, you'll learn your weaknesses, you'll learn the people that you need to have on your side to help you in those weaknesses. Like, yeah, for one of my writing projects, like I'm doing a graphic novel that I've been doing since for about 10 years, kind of. And it came from me telling my baby niece and nephews bedtime stories.
Yeah.
Fast forward, I'm doing that throughout college. Fast forward, I had one of my writing partners, who was my roommate, and like he just was able to help me, in the areas that were my weaknesses. So
Got you. Got you.
when you do that, what you're
Got you.
doing first, at least for me, what I'm realizing is you're treating yourself like maybe a Swiss Army knife, and you're just adding into that. That's one of the things about that in the industry that we're in, it's creating, and you look at all of the different departments in that. It's not just one person. It might come from somebody's mind, but it takes a whole village. Um, so in seeing where I want to get to, you got to make sure you have the right tools
Mm.
uh, to help you get there, and that's
Mm.
internally first, but also with who you have around you as well. Um, Part of that also will, comes discernment in who you allow to be within that. We call that circle. That
Yep.
discernment of who you let into that circle,
Yep.
and you have to,
Yep.
do your due diligence to vet
Yep.
one another or vet people that you bring into that. There's
Yep.
going to be toxic people, there's going to be that, but within the process of doing this, you also learn how to communicate. You learn how to lead. You learn how to, just yeah, you learn how to, achieve your goals too. You know
Let
how
me
to be
ask you
hungry
this.
about it too and
Do you
feast on
believe
it and
that
not just quit.
I'm gonna challenge you? Do you believe that you're a good leader?
Do I believe I'm a good leader?
Yeah.
I mean, I like to think I am. I mean, shoot. Proverbs, it talks about don't let your own lips praise your own works or speak of your
Yeah.
own works, but the lips of others. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I let my
Yeah.
work speak for itself
Yeah. Yeah.
and we'll
Yeah.
see.
I love it.
And
I
if you
love it.
don't like it, then I'm going to blame my writing partner and that's whose fault it is. There it is.
Hilarious, bro. We
Anything you
are
don't like from me is not my fault. There you go.
indeed. I'm gonna go to a couple questions that's on here.
Yeah, let's do
Jaquan
it.
Jaquan asks, do you believe living in New York, Atlanta, or LA is like either or to like spearhead your acting career? Like, where should
Oh,
you
okay.
look?
I understand. I understand what you're saying. I think given like today's, we look at like, we see technology and we say how it's helped tremendously, where it provides a lot of opportunities for a lot of self tapes. I have a couple of friends that, are in the industry and they do a bunch of self tapes, and some are out here in LA, others are in Atlanta, some are in New York. Um, for me, I mean, growing up in Cali in LA, it's like you said, I was blessed because I'm around here and I can make the commute. And I also have my family. I have like my core, which is here. So I am
Yeah,
extremely blessed in that regard. And
yeah,
my hat
yeah,
goes off to all of the artists that pick up and leave and come to chase their dreams, because
yeah.
that's a big decision. That's a huge decision. And I would say that, it honestly doesn't matter whether you're in Atlanta, whether you're in New York, or if you're in LA. It doesn't matter, because I personally believe what is meant to be yours will be yours,
Preach.
as long as you do that work to get there. My father, he's the one that would tell me it's easier for God to direct a moving ship than one that just stays in port.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
So
mm-hmm.
you have to make sure you're doing your due diligence.
What are some
Whether
of those
that's,
due diligence? What's some of those
do,
due diligence? Like, what do you feel like an actor
like
should do?
providing yourself the opportunity. I mean, it
Mm-hmm.
could range from not even having to travel or to go to another state. It could even just be, are you even just what actors are you watching that you want to emulate?
There we go.
What actors do you like that you're going to study? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Something that's simple, just like that, and then that can just grow into something else as well. Whether seeking out acting classes
there
or
we go.
writing, or are you reading?
Yeah,
Because there's so much that you can take and study. Be a student of your craft.
there you
Be
go.
be the most prolific student of your craft that you can be.
There we go. And there's this amazing studio in LA and Atlanta called LS Studios. All right, you should check them out.
Right.
You guys are on the page right now. Just check us out, guys. Amanda the Greatest asks, what book are you reading right now?
Oh, that's funny. One moment. Well, here's one. That's from the morning study. You know about that one.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Uh, so I'm going through pretty much two books right now.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Actually, one I was recently given, which has been really good, and it is Single Dating, Engaged and Married. So this is a really good book. It's been really, really cool.
Interesting.
Yeah, yeah,
Interesting.
yeah. It's been a real good book. And it actually is looking at the relationship with God. So that's one that's really good. Getting my relationship good with God before trying to put somebody else through the headache of what I am. God Wrote a Book is the other
Okay.
one that I'm reading too. This is a really good one, really, really good book that just is giving pretty much arguments defending on the Bible,
Okay. Okay. Okay.
on the fact that it is infallible, which is what I believe. The fact that it uses archaeology, history, science, and
Interesting.
a couple of other things that argue in defense of the Bible. But then it'll also use scripture to support itself, such as like prophecies that have already been fulfilled. And so it's a real good book. It's a small, quick read too. So that's a good
Okay.
one.
We
What
have
books are you
literally
reading, by the way?
said again.
What books are you reading?
Oh, I will show you right now.
And if you haven't read it, what you need to read, I read it every year, The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho.
Yes, that's amazing.
This is my
I'm
favorite.
actually reading because obviously I'm an instructor, but The Training of the American Actor.
Okay.
All right. It has all of the different instructors right now, by John Howard, but also the 48. Oh yes, that's Power, but that's next. the 48 Laws of Power, but the Laws of Human Nature by Robert Greene.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, brother.
Yeah. So we got a few minutes before this whole Instagram hour thing, ends. My question to
Do we
you,
have more questions?
yes, we do.
Okay, let's do
What
it.
would have to happen is if this joint like close out, you have to come back in. If you're
Why
cool
would
with
it
that,
close out? What's going on? What's happening?
it only give you an hour and it shuts it
Oh,
down.
got you. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
so we're like approaching that. So I'm just letting you know. But I have a question. This person name is Louis Stancil. He wants to know what is your
You ain't right.
workout?
You ain't right. You
What
know that, right?
what
You know you
what
ain't right.
is
You got people that want
what
to ask questions, and you
what
gonna ask your
is
own
your
question.
workout routine? Because he wants to know how could somebody like get these abs right, just like so. For those that don't know, guys, every single scene that Jordan does on camera with his shirt off, surprise, that's me. I'm his photo double. So that's me, guys.
It is, bro. It is. You so right, man. You so right.
Just letting you know, cat's out the bag, you know what I mean? So I should
Hey,
share the
well, the
workout
cat's out the
routine.
bag. Yeah, I guess, CW's probably just not going to be bringing me back now. They just going to let you
No,
do
no,
it
they
all.
will. You're the
Well,
face. You're the face. I'm just the body.
I
You know
don't,
what
I
I
don't
mean?
know
So
about it, man. I mean, like I told you, I'm bummy, so you got it all. You just done took it all.
I'm trying to get swole, man. All right. So the question here, because I believe it's going to shut out. So if it shut out, you just have to join us back for like 15 more minutes, my brother.
Okay.
All right. Cool. All right. So going in here, scrolling up, it's a lot of people in here. All right. Thank you guys for being here. Okay. So I'm going to try to
Yeah,
get the
thank you guys. Thank you
questions.
for coming and hanging out with us. We really
Yes, yes,
appreciate it.
yes.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. I'm trying to see. Everyone's saying, hi, I love Black Lightning. You're great. Okay.
Good.
I'm trying to get through a question. Okay. Does anybody have a question? This is a lot. Just ask the question at the bottom because it's a lot going on in here.
I'll see if I can
Okay.
help you out.
Yes,
Let's
please.
see.
If you see a question, shout it out. When is season 4 of Black Lightning coming out?
Oh, I know that the writers, I know that the writers have already started going back into the writing room.
Okay.
So they're not there now. They're not there now.
Right.
But they're writing from the houses, I believe, and everything. So they've started breaking and working hard on that. I think we were originally supposed to go back uh, around August. I think is when we were originally supposed to go back. I'm not sure how that's gonna translate given the whole situation with coronavirus and everything. Um, but yeah, I think that's they're definitely getting on it, and we knew that we got the pickup before everything broke out, so that's great. So we're just waiting
Okay.
to find out.
So somebody said, can you mention the first book that you mentioned?
The first book?
Yeah, that you mentioned when you pulled it up.
Oh, yes, Single Dating, Engaged and Married, by Ben Stewart. Yeah, so
Love it.
this is what
So
I'm
do you have
navigating
any
life and love in the modern age.
projects coming out outside of Black Lightning that we can anticipate?
I was supposed to be doing a independent film
Okay.
over in New York. So that's been put on hold. That was
Hmm.
really only the other thing that I had, I guess, planned. That was just waiting for it to be financed and everything. So, it was a process. But that was it. I mean, other than that, I've just been, sticking with my own stuff, writing and chilling.
Next question. LaSherry Drawing asks, what character is similar to your personality?
Character similar to my personality. I
Hmm.
feel like there's both. I got a little bit of both in them. When I'm playing sport, I get real competitive. You see a bit of Painkiller come out.
Okay.
You gotta be
Okay.
careful. But
Okay.
no,
Okay.
I definitely think, Khalil is the thing that's great about Khalil is that he's kind of like I liken him to being somewhat stoic. Okay, there we
Here we
go.
go. So for those that are just joining, if you have a question to ask, Jordan, feel free to start typing away, okay? Thank y'all for coming back. But we'll spend about 15 more minutes with Jordan. so that we can get these questions answered. All right, so
Right. So we would. Were we on
the last question,
right?
I
That
forgot
was
the
who
thing
I
that threw
was,
me
right,
off
and
as
I was
well.
talking about Khalil being
Oh, the
stoic,
character.
and yeah, Khalil's stoic. But I like Khalil because he's a little bit more reserved. He's not like he won't react. You know, you won't get a quick
Hold
reaction
on,
out of him.
somebody said can't hear, no sound. Give us hearts if y'all can hear us, guys. Give us hearts. Can y'all hear us? Can y'all hear Jordan? All right, cool.
There's
Okay, all right.
how's can they hear us now?
I guess so. They're giving us hearts. Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I like Khalil because he is more reserved, and he's he's a little bit he's grown. He's learning. He learns a lot from the mistakes that he's made, and he's doing. It's going to be interesting actually to see season 4 what he's going to learn from after being pretty much like manipulated, and how he's going to cope with a lot of those things. Those are a lot of the stuff that I think during the off season, is where the character would go 3 seasons from now, 4 seasons, just to give, that's that character history that you build, that's that
So
character development.
so Jay Finley asks, a lot of actors feed off of each other in the scene, right? How
Right.
was it when you had to portray Khalil and Painkiller in the same scene?
Well, that's a great question. Oh man, it was a challenge in the beginning, but it was so fun. Uh, because if you're not being challenged, then you're not going to want it. It just becomes
Yeah.
repetitive and boring, right? But it was a challenge. It reminded me of Lindsay Lohan's Parent Trap when I found out that, like way back when I was younger, that that's just one girl and they were doing that, But it also reminds me of the Jungle Book, Mike Favreau's Jungle Book, and also which was the new one, because the little kid, he was pretty much performing with nothing but people in green suits.
Mm.
And so what it is, it's as SpongeBob would say, imagination.
We are
you know,
not using a
yeah.
SpongeBob
Yes,
reference.
we did. Yes, my niece would be happy because that's who I watch it with. Yeah, so the imagination. It was a lot. It was a lot of fun. And I read that with our PA April. I love her. Shout out to April.
What up, yo?
But she was wonderful. She's so funny the way that she would read a lot of the scenes, because she would be off camera reading the lines for me. Like when I first was introduced in the second episode, and I was at the table and I was giving like sort of a feedback or a rundown of
Mm-hmm.
who I was at that point, and you
Mm-hmm.
just hear April. She's sweet Asian woman. Oh, just loveliest, and she's just trying to do a deep voice. At points in times we were just cracking up, dying, and then when she would do my voice when I'm off on the other side, when I was fighting myself too. And like, I mean, I'm already a goof
Yeah,
when
yeah,
on
yeah.
set. I'm already like the troublemaker that is always holding up production by making people laugh or
That's
walking through other
hilarious.
people's scenes. Yeah,
That's
yeah, yeah.
hilarious,
I'm
man.
surprised I ain't been killed off. Thank God. Oh my goodness.
I have a
But
I have a I have a quick question from this is a good one. All right, it's from Dejan Abbey. Okay. This person is asking, what advice do you have for teens or youth about how to embrace their walk with God?
yeah, the first thing I'm gonna say is, for teens, you guys don't know everything. Don't be don't have don't be it's okay to be corrected. It's okay to not know everything, and seek the advice though, and know where you're getting it from. uh, the reason why I say that too is because I want you to also realize that your relationship with God is your relationship. um, However, you use this thing to help show you, what that relationship will look like, what that requires, and not even what requires, but also what's going to come ahead. Because, I mean, you talk about there's people that are still being martyred in, other
Yeah,
countries that
yeah,
you don't even hear about,
yeah,
like, for their faith.
yeah.
I mean, you're hearing about individuals that will go to, places because that's what they're led to. Now, whether that's God's calling or if that was just them feeling, that's between God and you to work out. However, I do say that because it is your relationship. And if,
Yeah.
if you're going to take that relationship seriously, like you would take any sort of relationship that you would be in with somebody here on earth that you would see face to face, you seek that relationship out. Well, so do so the same. Seek that relationship out by being in that word, by
Yeah.
praying, by and know why you're seeking it out. I mean, if you're only seeking it out just because you want to get into heaven, then I mean, sure, that's fine. I mean, but don't you realize once you accept Jesus, you're fine. Like
Mm-hmm.
you will not lose your salvation unless you grieve the Holy Spirit. That just shows his mercy and his grace because we fall short all the time. So don't even trip over that. What you need to be focusing on and thinking about is, how is my relationship with this individual who's sitting on this throne in heaven? What does that look like? Can I even
Yeah, yeah,
say it's
yeah.
mine? Why do you think Paul talks about, make sure that you're studied up in your word so that when the time comes, you can show yourself approved,
Absolutely.
and
Absolutely.
and
Yeah.
right. So I encourage and I exhort, and it's all from a place of love. Like, if it's your own relationship, you're not gonna have somebody else, and you're not gonna have your friends in your own relationship. Create your own relationship. Like,
Yeah.
pick
Yeah.
up your word
Yeah.
and know, and it's also what's something that we miss is the fact that, what does believing in this man that came to earth and sacrificed himself. God came to earth as man, sacrificed himself for us. Like, do you actually believe that, or is it just a good story?
Mm.
You know,
This is
because
Palm
believe
Sunday. This is really
Palm Sunday,
interesting.
baby, Palm Sunday,
It
man. I mean,
is.
shoot, he came through Palm Sunday. You're absolutely right. This is a huge day. It's absolutely day. It's a wonderful day.
Yeah.
Um,
I love
And
it.
I say that, yeah, and I just say that to the teams, just like, man, y'all can be easily influenced by so much,
Yeah.
and it's really up to you. It's up to you and your choice. It's gonna be a tough one. Trust me, I know about it when I was in high school. It's Ain't nothing new under the sun. So you're not alone. No matter how much further along we get with technology or whatever, ain't nothing new under the sun. Like, and he's merciful and he's loving and he's gracious, and
Yes,
he
he
he,
is.
he
Yeah.
took his time out. Jeremiah 1:9, before you were formed in your mother's womb, I knew you, and the plans
Yeah.
that I set before you. So be encouraged knowing that, like, even if you think like you don't know where you're going right now, well, do a reset. Do a reset. Read the book of John. The book of John will give you everything that you need to know about what it is with that walk, and what it's going to look like, what it will require. Um, and then find the people around you that are going to encourage you in that are going to have a like-mindedness. Because before you can go out and love on the world, or be used, you got to make sure, like, the source of love, you're receiving the source of love. That's what
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
reading
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
book, the first book. If you want to be able to give love, you have to make sure that you're receiving and you're too tapped into that source of love, because it's going to be a lot of work. It's going to be draining. It's going to be tiring, and you're not going to want to do it at times. And you're going to want to, be yourself and do
Yeah. Right.
you. And but if you have that source of love, it's going to bring you back to your knees and take you back to your first love, which is Jesus. So that's what I encourage is, have those right people around you. Like,
Yeah.
make sure this what you believe.
Yep.
And then and the main thing is like seek that own relationship out, and you can do that with the help of people as well.
Yep. Yep.
And I
I
suggest you look into older people that have gone through stuff,
to get
because
that
you're
wisdom
gonna
and
go
knowledge.
through
Yeah.
stuff. You're
Mm-hmm.
gonna go through stuff. This world is not fun.
Mm-hmm.
This
Mm-hmm.
world is not. Trust me, ain't nobody
Mm-hmm.
a saint. I mean, why do
Mm-hmm.
you think Paul writes? He says, he's listing off different sins: liars, fornicators,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
adulterers, etc. And then he says at the end of it, and of these I am the chief. I mean, we're talking about Paul, who wrote 13 letters, and man was like probably one of the biggest fathers that helped encourage, that was used to encourage the church and its growth. And this man
One,
alone says, I am the chief of these sinners.
this is lovely, man. I can chat and talk to you for hours.
For hours, especially.
And this right here, for those that are watching right now, excuse me, those that are
Oh
watching right now,
no.
I hope
Oh no. What is that?
you're just a little tickle. Just a little tickle, you know what I mean?
Hold up. I'm about to get CDC. I'm getting CDC right now. Where you at? Where you?
Hey, I'm quarantined. All right? I'm
Hey,
quarantined.
you gonna hear that right at your door.
Hey, hello?
Oh,
In all seriousness, one thing that drew me to you and your family, like I mentioned earlier, is your walk with God. And for those that are watching, I hope you can just sense his love for God and his care. Because I see it right now with you, Jordan. I'm like, man, you exude so much love, and it's very refreshing to know, like, hey, I don't see you at this pedestal where I can't
right,
reach you.
right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because I
yeah,
work with
yeah,
celebrities. You've been around celebrities. We, as other people, feel like I can't touch them. You know what I mean? Because you're
yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah,
oh, I
yeah.
can't talk to you or touch you or anything
Hmm.
like that. One thing I love about you, you actually use your platform and you forget about it in the sense of like, we're just human beings. We're connecting right now.
Right, right, yeah, yeah. I mean, I get told all the time, like, post more of yourself, and it's like, why? What? You see me on TV, like, no. I mean, and there's nothing wrong with people, because certain people for their, profession, and even if you just want to, that's, I think there's a healthy moderation on it,
Yeah, yeah,
but.
yeah. Right,
I'm not
right,
gonna impose what I want to do on somebody
right,
else. I'm not gonna do
right,
that.
right.
But
And that's one thing that I love about you, man, and your
But I
family.
appreciate
Like,
that. And I just think
yeah,
that's just Christ when He shines out of me. So I really
yeah,
can't take, and that's also, just being blessed with the parents that I have,
yes,
and also the big brothers and big sisters that I've had in
yes,
my life that have,
yes.
um,
But also the key
and friends.
people that God placed in your life as well, because
Right.
that's important as well. Like
Yeah.
being able to
And
feed
and
off
the
of that.
challenges and the success and the challenges as well. Because I mean, yeah,
Those are
and the
life
faults
lessons.
and my flaws. You know
Yep.
what I'm saying? Like it's all of these different, and we're talking about me, but it applies to everybody, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It applies to
Absolutely.
everybody because this is how we are intricately made and
Yeah, yeah,
designed.
yeah.
And that's the thing that's so beautiful about it is, and it allows you to actually see individuals,
Tap in.
for that.
We tap
The
in.
other book that I actually finished is Spirit, Soul, Body. Hang on, I'll grab that for you too.
Okay.
Uh,
And speaking of spirit, soul, body, again, guys, I just want to let you guys know, breaking news, that I am Jordan Calloway's body double. So if
Gosh,
you want to know
is that what we're doing?
the workout plan,
Yes,
because
go to you. Yes, hit this man up.
just
That's the one
just
that you want to
DM
hit
me
up.
if you want to know the diet, the routine, so that you guys can see all the abs.
Dang, bro, man, you killing
That's the
them.
quarantine.
Ow.
I let myself go the past 3 weeks for the quarantine.
No,
You
you
know what I mean?
didn't. No, you didn't. I know what you're doing right there. That's called hibernation ab workout. It's like core
Yeah.
focus on
See,
building a
I'm
huge.
glad you
Right.
know. I'm glad you know, and I'm glad
Yeah.
that we could still work together. Okay?
Absolutely. I mean, well, I'm gonna be without a job because you
No,
didn't
you're
put it
not.
all out there, but it's
No, you're
okay.
not.
No,
No, you're
it's all
not.
good. I can already see them flocking to your page now. They're like, "Hey, Alex, oh my God, Alex, study a high." You know, I get it. It's fine. But anyway, this is the book. This was the book I was telling you about. It. You see, Spirit, Soul, Body, and underneath it, co-signed by Lewis Stanley. You know, there you go.
Yeah. See,
Right.
I knew we work together, guys. We have our ups and downs sometimes, but you know, this man pounded, brother.
I ain't found it nothing, man. Come on
Pound
with this.
it,
Get out of here.
pound it. There we go. All
Oh
right.
my
I
God.
got the next question for you by Black Daria. What is your dream role?
Dream role. You know, it's kind of crazy, man. I kind of feel like I've been able to play like much. Okay. If I'm gonna do a dream role, it would
Uh-huh.
probably be uh it'd probably be one of the characters from the Bat family, if I'm being
Yo,
honest.
that's dope.
You know,
That's
bro,
dope.
man, shoot. If I was one of like Lucius Fox's son, oh
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
Like
Yeah,
if
yeah,
I could
yeah,
do
yeah,
the
yeah.
Batwing, that would be great. Or one of the Green Lanterns. I'm a
Right,
nerd,
right.
man. What can I say? But I would say probably that. Also, I love characters that have like I said, characterization. The reason why I love
Yeah.
television is because it allows us more time with the character to really you get to develop the character. You
And
know.
that's what I want to ask you. Was there a role that actually challenged you in a scene? Like,
Mm,
yo, this
mhm.
stretched me as an artist. Like,
Right.
thank
That
you.
would probably be. I did do an independent film. I think it was back in 2014. Called Disconnected, and I played a kid with bipolar disorder.
Love
And
it. Love it. You did some
yeah.
impediment work.
Oh, thank you, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was doing that like my sophomore year of college,
Mm.
and that was a real Leslie Libman was the director. It was a great project to be able to
Tap
learn
in.
and
Yeah.
learn and not just learn but also empathize with
Yeah.
individuals that suffer from manic depression. I mean that was one. I would also say Life of a King was a great one. I was playing a kid that was incarcerated
Mm.
for a period of time, and then he's developing a relationship with his father, who was also incarcerated, but he followed his track. That was really big because that just that was kind of one of those things where it's like, yeah, I get to play a character that I never actually knew this type of life, but I have cousins, I have friends that know incarceration,
Right, right,
and know
right.
what it is to be like that. And so just hearing,
Wait,
hearing their stories.
wait. Did y'all see his response? He said, I never experienced that type of
No, no,
life.
I'm saying that from like a humble like position, saying is like I'm not gonna claim to
I'm
be
teasing
something.
you,
I would
dude.
never, because I don't want nobody rolling up on me like I'm like, where you from? It's like
Hey, we painkiller,
Cul-de-sac
man. We
Lane.
painkiller.
Yeah, I'm from Cul-de-sac Lane. I got good credit score. I don't know, bro. What you shit? Dang.
Is there an actor that or actress you would love to work with?
Yeah. I mean, shoot. Definitely want to work with like Tom Hardy. Want to work with Idris Elba. Um, Bill Duke was one of the people that I want, and I love working with Bill. Got to shout out to Bill. He's all right. So Bill is one of those actors where he's an OG first and foremost,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
but
yeah.
he also is. He don't play no games, but he's the most loving guy too. He's so likable, so loving. And in one of the scenes that we were doing, they were on my coverage, and there was something that was going on where like there was clicking sound with some of the equipment, and I'm just trying to go through it, but Bill, he was just like, you know what? Can we cut this? Can we cut? My man, the thing's clicking, and my man over here trying. I was just like, that's Bill right there. So Bill's always gonna be, one of the number one. Good old Bill Duke. I mean, Shoot, I mean, when you ask that question, it's hard because
Yeah,
everybody that you think about, then it's just like, I can't
yeah.
even think of them no more.
Well, I have a question here. Sorry to cut you off. What you
Mhm.
finish your thought?
No, it's all good. I mean, it don't matter what I got to say anyway, so it's fine.
You know what? And this is in all seriousness. I wanted to go back to when you were answering the question about the the belief with God as a teen and a youth, and I just got quiet because I'm here listening and I'm absorbing your energy and just listening to you and hoping that people pay attention to your behavior because you're a real genuine dude, man, and it's an
Yeah,
honor
I
to
mean,
actually just have this moment right now because you're busy, I'm busy, but this moment right here is important that we're
right,
actually touching
right.
certain individuals. Like this could help somebody, and it will help
I
somebody.
mean, we hope it does. Obviously, I mean, because yeah, I mean, you said like when you feel like somebody's made it or whatever, then it's they're not touchable or they can't be touched or anything. I mean, shoot, the world, mankind, our thoughts, like our pride, made us all think that we couldn't be touched. In America, in the EU, and look at everybody now. One
Yeah.
virus.
So a
I
question
mean,
from it's
if
Janice.
this isn't
Okay.
a huge shot, I'm sorry, if this isn't a huge shot to man's pride, where everybody's getting hit in their bank account and showing the fact that we're all just humans. Like, ain't nobody done. This is the thing. Ain't nobody came, died for my sins, and then provided me salvation. Like,
Preach.
so I use this as the example because it's such a terrible virus that's going on, and it's a
Yeah.
serious thing. But at the same time, it has exposed mankind. I mean, it has exposed us, and it's also showing us different natures of ourselves too. I
And
mean,
even with the different natures, have you paid attention to like the hypersensitivity level within us that we're very cautious. We're very
yeah.
putting on our gloves and protecting our health, protecting our
Oh yeah.
energy.
It's
Even
interesting, bro. I remember when, and I don't mean this in no. I hope it doesn't get taken out of context, but
yeah.
I remember when growing up, or at least myself and my friends, we would drive around and we would see an Asian person wearing masks and gloves,
hmm
and we'd be like, "Why are they doing that?" Or the visor that you like, "Wow, like look at us now, look at
We're
everybody
all
now,
doing it.
we all wearing it, right?" Like so,
Seriously.
like we all are wearing it, but it's I
This
just thought
goes
that was
back
a thing.
this goes back to
Funny.
saying there's the white, black, brown, whatever. We're all facing it together.
Yeah,
You
and
know?
I think this is the opportunity for human nature to or actually true humanity is what I should say, to step up because you imagine like individuals. I mean, that aren't ready for this situation. I mean, this gives us an opportunity to actually help one another because
Yeah.
we're all combined and tied by this single incident that's going on. And yeah, man, it's an opportunity. I look at it as, and I see it as. But I mean, I don't know. Who knows what's going to happen? I mean, who knows
Yeah.
what's going to go down? The
Yeah.
point that I was just making, and the thing that I just find interesting is the fact that America, we used to think that we couldn't be touched, and look at us now. I mean, we're all humans. We're all
Together.
like, and whether I'm on a pedestal or not, forever how long God has me. Um, I ain't perfect, and I'll be first to say I
Nobody's
ain't
perfect. Yep.
perfect. I'm not perfect. But when I operate in the light,
Well, we know
that's what I
that
want you guys to
because
see.
I'm your body double, man. Like we all know that. We all know that now, guys. The cats is I don't know how many times I can say it. All right. So I have a question from it's Janice. She goes, during this situation, how do you refuel and get back to, like for you, what is your process or what
Right,
advice can you give to
right,
like refuel and regroup and like still push
right.
forward?
Have stuff to do, man. Have different hobbies to do. And those can be, see, that's the thing about, for me, the industry, this job, I love it. It's my passion. It is. And I have fun, but I don't let it be my identity. I
Preach.
try to do other things, you know what I'm saying? Because if you allow that to become your identity, then when that's taken away from you, well, first of
Preach.
all, you're limiting yourself. First of all, you're limiting yourself. And if you limit yourself, then, I mean, you're missing out on the beautiful things of the world right now. Like, so many opportunities.
Yes.
So I would say, like, yeah, man. I mean, you just don't limit yourself. Is one of those things.
Absolutely. That could, guys, we're about to drop his Cash App so we can collect tithe and offering right now
No, we're not.
because
No, we're not. No, we're not. We're not gonna do that. You got enough mega churches out there doing that stuff. No. Anything you want, this is all offer free. Hey, this is all offer free. And no
all
offense
right.
to anybody using, like, but this is, yeah. That's why I'm so grateful though that you did this though too,
Yes.
because I'm terrible when it comes to social media, and partly
Dude, this
because,
is
like you
great.
said, but partly because you said, like, what do I do to unwind or recharge? The question was, it's, I step away from social media. That's part of it
Mm.
too.
Mm.
And
Do you fast?
it's not so much that I fast. I just step away when I feel like stepping away, and
Yeah.
usually, it's because, yeah, man. I will fast in certain areas, other
Okay.
areas.
Okay.
Sometimes I might fast from social media. I've done it in the past, but where I am now, like, it's just not just put it away, whatever. Or like I said, having different things to do. I'm gonna start gardening with my sister. She's gonna, help me
That's what's
out
up.
with that, and then and read different books, fantasy. I mean, I watch different things. I don't watch the anime. I mean, like, come on now, shoot.
Somebody actually said, "What is your
Who got
favorite anime?"
okay? Shoot, that's a question I love. All
All
right,
right. Next
now.
question is. No, I'm joking.
Right. No. But no, in like the recharging though of it, and also I think my core group of friends, my mom, my dad, and my siblings are the best source that I get. But
And Louis
not the best,
Stansel.
not the
Louis
best,
Stansel.
and Lewis. But it's a great source. However, the best source obviously is, of God. And
Amen.
that just goes back to what I was saying about in the book, when you are tapped into that source, you're able to give that source of love as well. Give that out as well. But favorite anime,
Yeah, we
that's
could talk
difficult
about this,
because,
guys.
oh
Hold on.
shoot, I could go on. I mean, I got Hunter x Hunter. That's a classic. That's
Yeah,
always a
yeah, yeah, yeah,
throwback
yeah, yeah.
classic. But
I guess that's something that
it's,
most people don't know about you, that you love anime.
yeah, man. I mean, I love it because, I mean, the way that they characterize it, like the characterization in the stories that they do. I mean, they really tell some compelling stories. It's great. I mean, I love it. I love it. It's really, really good storytelling. But favorite animes, Hunter x Hunter, Code Geass, obviously Demon Slayer, which is a huge
Mm.
one. My Hero, which I also
Mm.
posted up earlier. You don't have any clue what I'm talking about.
Sure do. Yeah. What do you mean? I'm Jordan Calloway's body double. I gotta know everything. Come
Black
on.
Clover, yes. Black Clover is fire. Who is that? I got to give him a shout out. What is that? So Steph. Yes, Black Clover is fire. That's a huge one as well. We're not even
Black
worried about
Clover
you,
is
Lewis. We're
dope,
not worried
guys.
about you. Yes, we said My Hero this last episode. His story. Yeah, be quiet, Lewis. We're just we fanning out and everything. I haven't done Fairy Tale, but I have started One Piece to whoever that was asking. So. Yeah, there's a couple. My
Cool.
writing is inspired by anime, actually, too.
You said, hold on, no, say that again. That's pretty dope. I actually knew
Mhm.
this. We
Yeah,
had this
yeah,
conversation. But
yeah. The way that I write live action screenwriting is heavily influenced by the culture that they, not the culture, not the Japanese culture, but the way that they tell stories, how they're not afraid to go into culture, how they're not afraid to, just give something completely out of the box, but there's something that's a through line that makes it all tie together. So Deadly Sins is great. Yes, there's a Deadly Sins question. So
Okay.
this stuff might just fly out while
No, I
I'm
love it. I
talking.
love it.
You
I
know,
love it. I love it. I love it.
Cowboy Bebop.
One thing that for those that are still with us, guys, this is phenomenal. I'm glad Jordan
Full
was
Metal
doing this.
Alchemist,
Appreciate you
Brotherhood,
doing
yeah.
this. We're going to get through a few more questions. But I do want to pause and make sure that everyone knows that we are LS Studios. We are an acting studio that service
Yes.
actors, writers, and comedians. So we do have, a class with Lamont Farrell where he service writers. Not only teach them script writing, right? How to, package it, but also how to get an agent and how to pitch your script. So if you're interested, we have an open house, virtual open house this Saturday, and it's actually my birthday, April 11th. So join
Right.
in, okay? Yeah, I'll be
This
30,
Saturday,
man.
you're having it on your story, right?
It will
Don't worry
be.
about it. I'll just show up. Where you at? I'm come over.
It's on Zoom actually.
Huh?
Did y'all just see the disrespect?
What I'm just saying, man. No, but that's awesome though. That's awesome.
Yeah, I have a dirty 30 to remember, bruh.
Yeah, man. Shoot, I might be there too if it keeps on up. I mean, how do you think the world's gonna react to once we're out, like with this whole lockdown and shutdown?
You want to know something? I just had this conversation. All jokes aside, I had this conversation with my class today, and I was talking with casting directors, producers, and directors that for the production side, I feel like once we're back, production is going to go crazy to start filming. Auditions are going to go nuts. That the turnaround to cast actors are going to be quick, so
Right.
they have to cast actors fast with audition self tapes. And I want to know, at your level right now, are you currently auditioning? Do you still get auditions? Do
No,
you
I
get more
still audition.
offers?
Yeah, I still audition. Sometimes I get offers too. I get some offers as well.
Okay.
But I actually do enjoy the auditioning process, partly
Good.
because it reminds me to appreciate it. And I think it's just a healthy, so if I have auditions, yeah. And it's also an opportunity for me to just keep on practicing different other characters too,
Yeah.
So I do like that as well. Would I just prefer having stuff offered? Obviously, I'm trying to save gas just like the rest of us. But I mean, shoot.
Yeah, for sure. All right, let me get through some of these questions. All right.
I'm gonna put some more hot water on.
Go ahead. And you can answer some of these if you can hear me. All right. Marvel or DC?
Come on now, DC all day, baby.
Okay. Why?
What type of question was that? Batman, man. Come on, DC, Detective Comics.
Is there a reason?
he's named after him. Come on now.
Is there a reason?
Batman, Detective Comics. I'm talking to you like you know this. I'm sorry. That was rude to me. I'm so sorry. Shame on I stepped in my flesh right there a little bit. I was a jerk. I was a whole asshole. I'm sorry.
Thank you. Apology accepted. Okay, all right. Let's see. Some of these questions are already answered. If you go back, we save the lives, guys. If I'm skipping over your question, it's already because we already answered it. Just go back to the save lives. All right. Cool. All right. Okay. What this is from? Oh, did it just skip up that fast? What
I got somebody that said,
where's
my favorite role I played so far?
Okay, good. You already got one.
I probably would say my favorite role that I played so far would be Painkiller and Khalil, because of the challenge of acting with myself, and doing the fights, being able to learn the fights in the whole choreography
Okay.
And then also being able to like just because what's great about our stunt team is like it's a creative process when they come up with the fight, but they'll allow me to put in my input as well. So being able to do stuff like that has been a lot of fun. And yeah, so I would say Khalil and Painkiller. This last season has been a lot of fun, especially because he's a damaged character. I mean, you look at Greek mythology and you see the tragedy of really good characters, whether Achilles or Odysseus. I mean,
Mm.
you look at all of the old plays, like great tragedy stories, and that's the story of Khalil. Um, as he is, ebbing and flowing into his different character of who he is. Now he's going to be coming into a man, finding his own identity after having his identity manipulated by so much.
Yeah.
Because you got to keep in mind there was a couple of tracks that he was on. The first track, first season, he was doing um, he was emulating and trying to emulate Dr. Pierce because that's who his father figure was. But then that all got washed to the wayside when his whole world was stolen from him. And eventually you see how he continues down a dark path, and in season 2 you see how the manipulation begins, where you
Mm.
take the young mind of a teenager who is he has nothing, and then you give him, and you just continue to give him things that will distract him. It's kind of like aiding a drug addict or getting a drug addict fixed on something independent on you. And that's what happened with Khalil with Tobias. And then you see the manipulation that occurred. Then you
Mm.
transfer that into season, and you see you see what happens, his consequence that he has to pay. Um, and then you see in season 3 how it's somebody completely different from Khalil, that he's now just been a tool. And it kind of just, it heightens off of what season 2, what he was dealing with from Tobias. You see that how Odell kind of really perfects it. And
Right.
you see the crescendo of that when Painkiller kills his mother. And then you see the effects of that it has, the psychological effects that that it has with Khalil, which is why I love the character, because it is a complete tragedy. And while it may not be as intense, or it may be for kids that are dealing with different things like this, a lot of them are being manipulated. A lot of them are being encouraged or influenced by the wrong person.
Yeah.
So that's also one of the reasons why it's also a great story, because as a young man and as a man that has nephews, you want to make sure that they grow up as with positive examples before them,
Absolutely.
and
Absolutely.
individuals that will support them. So it's going to be interesting to see what season 4 looks like, to
Yeah.
see the recovery process for Khalil. Now that well, we don't know. We don't know what's going on, because he just walks
So
away after getting
this
biased.
this is actually this is actually good because it's like the opposite, right? Or someone asks, what genres or roles would you like to tap into that you haven't touched so
Hmm.
far?
Right. Genres and roles. I would love to do period piece roles.
Mm.
Yeah, I would love to. I think it's always fun learning, what was actually transpiring, what were the influences of that time. Um, I would love to play something during the Harlem Renaissance. I have such affinity
Mm.
for it. I love it.
Mm.
It's really, really beautiful time, especially in Black culture for us. It was huge. But yeah, I mean, different roles, and I mean, the question was
What
which.
like what roles would you like to tap into or just genre?
Mhm.
But I feel like you pretty much answered it.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I mean, I'm a fan of a good story and something that has a good resolution and a life lesson within that. I can't necessarily say like what I will or what I won't play. There's some things that I will always leave up to God. and
Yeah, yeah,
figure out.
yeah,
But
yeah,
my main focus, my main thing is what's the story? You know,
yeah.
what's going to be the story? What's going to be of it? Um, who's the character? How does he help? Because I'm another piece to the puzzle. You know, at the end of the day, whether if I was number one on the call sheet or number
Yep, yep,
39, you know,
yep,
you're another piece to the puzzle, and you want the project to do well. You want it to
yep.
do great. So, yeah.
Somebody asked, what would you be doing if you weren't acting?
Okay. Probably, yeah, well, if I had it, playing baseball. Definitely would
Yeah.
wanted to go to play baseball. Um, that or culinary school. Probably be a chef.
You could
I
you
really
good in the
enjoy.
kitchen?
Huh?
You good in the
Come on now. Come on now.
I
Let me
don't
go get my
remember
food.
that.
You
I
think
don't
you
remember.
think about that. You know my mama, first of all, okay?
I
So
do know
yeah.
that, but I don't remember you.
I gotta get my tea, all right? You think about what you just said, all right? Think about it.
Y'all, he can't cook. I told y'all I cook for. Well, I'm the body double, so yeah, I cook for me. So yeah. All right, guys. We're approaching that next hour. I haven't had this much time with Jordan in a long time because he's been busy. I've been busy, but I'm grateful for his time for the almost 2 hours that we've been on here answering you guys' questions and just powwowing. But Jordan, one thing that I noticed, man, this is a lot of pressure scrolling through to get a question answered. And I really want you guys to understand, like, the process. Like, when I'm trying to find a question, you guys type, it pushes everything up. So I'm like, oh, snap, I lost my place. So this is a lot of pressure, Jordan. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to let you
Mhm.
handle the last 3 questions.
Oh
And
wait, what?
go ahead and
Why do
handle
I
it. Just
No,
pick the
no, this
last
is last time I checked, this was LS Studios LA
It's a
that well,
shared thing, brother. You can do this. I have faith in you.
all right, I'm gonna help you out. That's what this really is. How about I take one and then you take another one. Let's
Okay,
see.
thank you, my brother. All right,
All right.
cool.
Let's
I
see.
don't have a question right now. Oh,
Oh, I got one.
okay.
Go ahead, you go first.
What is the inspiration behind what is the inspiration behind most of your collaborations?
The inspiration. Oh man. So you know the saying, right from what you know. That would definitely be, influence of family stories. Uh, Inspirations also have to do with, I'm big on culture. So I loved history growing up. And that's also one of the things that, like, I was studying is AP history back in high school. So I was always in like AP World History, AP Government, AP US History, um, and I enjoy it because you learn about different cultures, you learn about different things. I mean, recently I was in Chichen Itza and I got to
And
see
where?
the Chichen
Spell
Itza.
it. Spell it.
Yes, I ain't doing that. But it was the temples, and it's one of the
Yeah.
wonders of the world. It
It's
was
in
absolute.
Mexico.
Yes, yes. So it was beautiful, absolutely beautiful, being there and just you know seeing what I had read before. But
Hmm.
culture influences me as well as music. Um, and I listen to everything. I listen to everything, and I have to be wary of what I listen to. But I think music it causes that it causes that emotion.
Yeah.
So I have to write with music, whether it's rap, whether it's Dreamville or J. Cole, Kendrick, J. Rock, you know what I mean? Whether it's even Anderson .Paak or the
Mm.
band Extremes, or even all the way over to
Mm.
to the gospel music.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
it's I listen to old Fred Hammond albums.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I love Christian rap too. Beautiful Eulogy.
That's what's up.
Lecrae,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Andy Mineo. I love, R&B. Kim, if we want to go back, take it way back. I mean, yeah, so music influences my writing, culture
Nice,
influences my writing,
nice, nice, nice.
anime influences my writing because the action that I see in anime, I want to do that. I want to
Ooh,
bring that to life.
absolutely.
I do. And we have a great stunt team, like Danny Boyer, David Conk, my stunt double, Nick Pelikai,
Yes,
uh, one of our other stunt doubles, Eric, in
yes, Eric.
Banda. You
Yeah,
remember
yeah, yeah,
Eric,
yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like, yeah. So I mean, all of these dudes, and like, I mean, if you guys like, just stunt people are amazing. I just love the whole stunt industry. They're just dope, and they have such a great vision.
Yes. Remember, guys, he has a stunt team. I'm the photo double. Okay, photo double.
Why don't you show them right now? Why don't you show them the abs?
No, I'll show you the
Why
guns.
don't you
I'm gonna
show
show
them the
you the
abs?
guns. I'm
Show
gonna
them the
show.
abs.
I'm gonna show you the guns. You know what I mean? Like this
What,
is. I
what,
can't do it because I got two. I got. Oh, you know what? Let me just real quick. This is. Oh, my stand.
somebody asked who wrote the script for Always a Bridesmaid. That was Yvette Nicole Brown, and she's an absolutely wonderful blessing. She wrote that though. She wrote the script for it.
It's
And
trying. My
answer that.
stand is trying to fall. You see that tilt?
As well
It's
as
not
directed
trying to
by
let me be
Trey Hayes,
great.
by the way. Oh
It's not
wow.
trying
Oh,
to let me be
he's
great.
talking.
All right, go ahead. And you got another question? Somebody asked,
Wow.
what's the process when you get an audition? We got 12 minutes. What's the process when you get an audition? What's your process?
Okay. Process. So what I'll do, man, is like I'll record the other lines of the characters and I'll read
Mhm.
that and then I'll usually run that to help memorize my lines.
Okay.
So I'll play
Okay.
it back and and then
So you're an
once I have my
audio
line,
learner.
yeah, I'm audio, but I'm a learner where it's like I just like to get in there and do it. So
Got
I
that.
like to run these lines, whether
Tactile,
it's
yeah.
running with somebody or
Yep.
running by myself, just speaking it out loud.
You know who you
And
can
then
hit up and run lines with? There's this guy named Louis Stancil, guys. So whenever you want to
you don't
hire,
stop
put
merchandising
somebody
yourself.
when you want to put somebody to work,
Right.
you got
Okay.
the 10
Okay.
digits.
Sure.
So okay, but no, in all
No,
seriousness,
I know that is true. And by the way, congratulations to you and Meek because that was awesome.
did
I
you
know you're
watch it?
proud of that. Yes, I
You
did.
did
And I meant
watch
to,
it?
but wait, no. I told you before when I watched it. I texted you. I said congratulations.
Yes. But I
Yeah.
didn't know if you went to go see it. But the movie drops. It was so interesting enough. The movie was supposed to drop by my birthday weekend. It was going to drop this Friday, but they pushed it to
hmm
August. So for
But you
those
the one
that
that
don't know what he's talking about, Meek Mill, rapper Meek Mill, makes his acting debut in a movie called
debut. Yep.
Charm City Kings. So I was the acting coach for Will Smith and Jada Pinkett
And when
Smith on
does
their
that drop?
movie.
And
Say it
when does
again.
that drop? And when does that drop?
August 14th. Okay.
Where?
So,
Where can they find it?
well, it'll be in theaters. Okay. So,
Exactly. You got to say that stuff because I mean, people living in a quarantine right now. They might be thinking about Netflix, Hulu, Crunchyroll. That's an anime call out, but you wouldn't know that.
I did know that. Come on, man. Do not test my knowledge. Okay.
So the
We got 10
process, though,
minutes.
we were talking about the
We got
process.
10 minutes.
That's
We're
what it
supposed to
was.
be answering these questions, Jordan, before I
And do
call
nothing.
Mama Calloway. All right. Go ahead. You're supposed to get the question, brother.
Oh, somebody asked, how do I stay humble in my profession? I just got friends and siblings that just tell me I ain't, that's what I guess keeps me humble. No, I think, I think having been fired before, and then also just, there's different things in life, not just in the industry, but in life that humble you.
Yeah.
And pastor of mine would always say, do you want God to humble you or do you want God to humiliate you?
Mm,
Um,
mm,
because
mm.
because God's not gonna humiliate you, but we can be humbled by God, and I'd rather be humbled by God. or not have to be humbled by God. I'd rather just, remain humble. But, Proverbs, it says, pride comes before the fall, haughty
Yep,
spirit
yep,
before destruction,
yep.
So I guess it's verses like that. And then also experiences where, I've seen in other people's lives. You know, because of choices, because of certain things, because of certain influences, because they've gone down certain paths. Some have lost their lives. So that's always a healthy warning to me in that. And at the end of the day, I mean, I'm an entertainer. I'm enjoying
Love it.
entertaining, and that's what I do. So, you know, I'm grateful, I'm happy, I'm excited, and I'm proud of the stuff that I put out, of the work that I've done.
Yeah.
However, don't I try not to allow that to be like to I don't know. I just try not to allow that to get ahead of me. I don't want to get ahead of God. So if that answers the question,
I love it. I love
how
it.
I would say.
Okay. All right, so I'm finding a question. You gotta get a question because we got 8 minutes before this thing hang up again. It was so disrespectful, wasn't it? It just stopped
What happened? What?
when IG Live just stopped on you. It was like, thank you.
I
All right,
guess I guess you're right about that. Oh
I see
no,
that call.
nuh-uh. Something went down the wrong pipe. Nuh-uh. I was laughing while you was doing that. Nuh-uh. Don't even start.
We saw the joke earlier about the open house, but now you coughing again. All right,
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Mm-hmm.
kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Yo, this is a lot of pressure. Final question. Okay. Oh, somebody asked, will you ever
That's
do
good
a
question.
faith-based movie or show?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Obviously I would. I want the story to be good though at the same time. And there are some really good stories out there that are faith based. And there are some really bad ones that are faith
Yeah.
based. But I
Yeah.
mean they have a good, meaning behind it, but
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
just not executed well.
Yeah.
Um
Yeah.
so yeah, so I would definitely I definitely would uh be open to that, and I am
Some.
open to that. And I mean, I did when I was younger, I did voiceover for Odyssey and Odyssey Family. It was a
Mhm.
old church audio show that was on
Huh.
Focus on the Family. Yeah. So that was an old time ago, but yeah, I've done faith-based projects as well.
You
Somebody
got a
asked, would
question?
you do a scary movie as an antagonist? That's from who we have? Queendom of Yee Yee. All right. Yeah, absolutely. I love playing Khalil or Painkiller. It's been fun playing the bad guy. It is a lot of fun. And I've thought about playing like a Christian Bale American Psycho, what that would probably
Ah.
look like if I could, do something like that.
Mm.
Just something completely challenging, and just scary, crazy, psycho. That'd be
I
fun.
love to actually, one of my favorites to work with is impediments, especially dark impediments. So somebody
Mm-hmm.
that taps into, like schizophrenic or a killer or,
Mm-hmm.
those
Mm-hmm.
dark spaces. I love to work on that.
Yeah.
Um, Somebody asked is like when you're negotiating things, what are some things that are like non-negotiable?
Non-negotiable things.
I'm assuming in the industry, I guess.
I
Go ask.
haven't I haven't really come across anything like that, to be honest. Like it's always been copacetic. I mean, unless just I've never come across that. So yeah.
Cool. Yeah, let's you ask the last question and then we'll talk real quick before 8 o'clock approach.
Okay, let's see. Let's find see what you're saying about. Mm-mm-mm. That's a good one.
You're not going to answer that.
I want to, but I just wanted to see like I understand what you was talking about.
Yeah.
Like, can you lose the question? Can the question go away? No, no,
Yeah,
no,
when
no,
it
no.
goes to the top, I guess I'm at the top and it's just like, I don't
Oh,
know. Just answer the question real quick while you're scrolling.
I lost it. That's what I'm saying. Hey man, don't yell at me. Dang. Okay, here we go. How was the process of finding the duality of Khalil versus Painkiller? Jay Finley. Great question. The process for that. So part
She's
of
one of
me,
my
what I did.
students. Hey, Jay.
Oh, really? Hey, Jay.
Yeah.
For me, I would say, I pulled from looking at, Bucky Barnes with Captain America, Winter Soldier, also Jason Todd, Red Hood. These are all different characters within, comic world. Then I also pulled, kind of also from the bipolar, and then I was thinking like, okay, what would it look like if who is Khalil, and then who do I want Painkiller to be? Because the benefit of this last season was, yeah, Khalil's dead. I don't got to worry about Khalil. I know Khalil. I breathe Khalil. I've done it for the past 2 seasons. Who is this that I want to make up? Who is this guy? How do I want him to be? Oh, do I want to do like some Bane voice? No, we didn't do that. But I just, you can find it in the way, in the cadence is one of the ways that I was doing it.
Yeah.
The cadence in which he speaks, because
Yeah.
Painkiller, he's smart. I approach it from the mentality of, he's the smartest person in the room and he knows it. He's not here for the rah rah or the bull. It's
2 minutes.
he's about getting stuff done. He's about getting stuff done, and then that allowed me to also just heighten and see the cavern between Khalil and Painkiller, which only enhanced, both of the characters' traits and the things that actually make them who they are. So, with Khalil, he might be seen a little bit more passive or reserved, whereas with Painkiller, he's much more direct and in your face. And the benefit of that is Khalil now had to grow into a man in order to address that. Somebody that's more domineering, and he had to stand up to, you could say, that bully or whatever. At the end of the day, the more evil or just the more self-absorbed or angry and focused with rage that I made Painkiller, it allowed Khalil to be more, sort of the hero, but it made him a little bit softer. And so in order for him to get over that, he had to face his biggest problem, which was himself. So it's that man versus man type of
I got to cut you off.
mentality.
We got like 60 seconds or less. That's the reason why I wanted to stop. But I want to say thank you again, Jordan. I appreciate you for being with us way past the time that I asked you to be on here for 2 hours, sharing your knowledge and gift. I would love to have you back, when you're available. Let me end with this. I appreciate your time. I appreciate your words of affirmation to everybody that's listening. For everybody that's watching, you can go back and watch these again for 24 hours. And I want to start off by saying we are LS Studios. We offer services. Just go to our website, lsactingstudios.com, and we have an open house this Saturday if you're interested in getting into the industry, because we all started somewhere. All right, so don't sit on your gifts. And this is one testament to this guy right here, that he started somewhere and he's here now, and he will continue to grow.
I appreciate it, brother. Thank you, man, for having me.
Any last words you want to say to anybody?
Be safe, stay healthy, guys. Know that you're loved, and yeah, man, know that you're loved. I guess that's the biggest thing that I want to say is do that, and just get out there, start creating, reiterate what you said, and I'll see you guys around. Can't wait to see.
I'm gonna hit you up. Would y'all like to see Jordan again?
Well, I was talking about like work-wise, for the next project, whatever it may be. So
love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
All right, brother.
All right, Jordan. I'll see you on set. I'll see you on set. I'll sure. Once I get back in.
Right.